Hey everyone, hope all is well. Recently I had a massive clear out of the cupboard underneath the stairs here because, to be quite honest, it was abysmal. I couldn't see, never mind get to half of the stuff that was in there. And in the process, I found some pretty interesting things. Old computer games, music, TV shows, movies. Do you like the contrast? Fan art, recordings of TV appearances, and even a mixtape, well, CD, from my ex. When deciding on what discs to keep, I would ask myself, will I want to listen or watch this in the not too distant future? And I found myself answering with a lot of maybes. This is clearly what causes the hoarding mentality that so many people have. But even when the answer was, yes, I will want to use this again soon, a new question transpired, which was, will I need to use this physical copy to access the media again? The answer was no in almost every instance. Thanks to the internet and digital services like Spotify and Netflix, I no longer require physical copies to consume the media that I desire. Not only that, but never have I had access to so much choice of media in my entire life. We are in the very early stages of a technological revolution, so this easy access I've been talking about may not currently apply to a lot of other situations, but it will do over time. And it's this principle of access that I'd like to talk about today. Take vinyl music, for example, preferred by some to digital audio due to the mild harmonic distortions in the signal that give a perceived added warmth to the sound. And then there's the artwork as well. But over time, and it may take some time, technology will overcome the challenge of giving you access to these elements in a way that feels authentic, without you needing to own it in physical form. Back in 2011, I posted a video called Ownership, which touched upon this very subject. I talked about how in the next couple of decades, we will no longer need to own cars due to automation. And people thought I sounded very unrealistic then, dreaming of utopia. However, over the last 5 years, I have noticed a significant change in the way that technological capabilities are viewed by the mainstream. Ultimately, what human beings desire in life is access to goods and services, and technology will continue to provide shortcuts around these perceived necessities of ownership. Let me explain. Capitalism has spurred a culture of accumulating capital, which can and has led to wastage on an industrial scale. Let's look at a very simple example to illustrate this. So tell me, how many times a day do you cut the grass? If you own a lawn, that is. What? Wrong question. Oh, okay. How many times a week? A month? A year? I think it's safe to assume that in an average neighbourhood, each household cuts the lawn maybe a handful of times a year, if that. So the question then becomes, does each household need to have their own lawnmower? Could they all share just one? Sharing doesn't make sense to a lot of people though, because there's a certain peace of mind that comes with having your own. You know where it is when you want it, and it reduces the headaches of what happens when someone leaves the neighbourhood or it breaks down. However, I believe that in the coming years, society's attitudes will drastically change so that the concept of a shared economy becomes the norm. And thus, in this specific example, so will the idea of a neighbourhood sharing one lawnmower. This cultural shift will have serious implications for big issues in the world. For example, food. Usually people conduct a weekly shop, going around filling up their shopping cart with all the things they expect to consume, making the most of offers like buy one get one free. How much of the food you buy goes to waste? And this isn't just a matter of what do you throw in the bin, or trash, as my American brothers or sisters would say. If you have some food that's about to go off, but you're not very hungry, you may consume it anyway, just so it doesn't go to waste. But it's still technically waste, if you never really needed it in the first place. Let's now consider all-you-can-eat buffets. When most people go to them, they will stuff their faces, eat as much as they can. And why? Because they want to get their money's worth, right? But then let's look at staying in an all-inclusive hotel for 2 weeks. Technically, it's all you can eat for multiple days, but would most people showcase the same behaviour as an all-you-can-eat buffet? Probably not. Because in this instance, your mind is assured that food is available if and when you need it. There is no need to stuff your face to get your money's worth, because if you did do that for 2 weeks, you wouldn't feel very good. It is true that the hotel may still deal with wastage by preparing more food than is necessary for their visitors overall, but hopefully what I speak of demonstrates that by giving an individual long-term access to goods and services, they themselves will consume and waste less. Technology such as the Internet of Things, 3D printing and renewable energy is going to seriously transform our global culture over the next couple of decades. And the most interesting thing about this is we are going to witness the traditional concepts of power and wealth become challenged by a new paradigm in which ownership becomes more of a hindrance than an advantage when it comes to accessing the goods and services that we desire. Now, I appreciate that this is only a small part of a much bigger conversation, so I look forward to continuing this discussion in the comment section of this video. And don't forget, you can connect with me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and YouTube. Please like and share this video if you'd be so kind. And finally, I'd like to end with a huge shout out this week to George, who has been a fantastic supporter of mine the past few months on Patreon. Not only as a contributor financially, but a contributor of ideas and advice in terms of production for this channel. So thank you so much, dude. It really means a lot. And if any of you out there would like to support the work I do, please visit patreon.com/Miles Dyer. There's lots of information there and a list of the rewards you can get access to, including personal postcards from me and weekly live shows. You can support me for as little as $1 a month, so get involved if you can. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week on Thursday. Adios till then.